According to sources in Turkey, Arsenal have sent in a bid for fullback, midfielder, winger, Ferdi Kadioglu of Fenerbahce. Apparently, the idea is to play him at left back, although he is really versatile. Kadioglu spent his early years with NEC. On 28 August 2016, he made his professional debut as a late substitute against AZ Alkmaar in a 2-0 away loss. In his first professional year, he scored 4 goals and made 3 assists in 27 Eredivisie matches. NEC finished the season in 16th position and were relegated from the Eredivisie via playoff matches. Fast forward to 2018, he signed for Fenerbahce, where in his first season he mostly played for the Fenerbahce under-21s and made his debut for the senior squad on the 20th of December 2018, coming off the bench in a Turkish Cup match against Giresunspor. Fast forward again to 2022-23, he emerged as a versatile player for Fenerbahce and the Turkey national football team, occupying multiple positions in the first 11, even though it was mainly left back and right back. Additionally, he earned the title of vice captain for Fenerbahce. He finished the season with 4 goals and 5 assists across all competitions, amassing a total of 4,175 minutes of playtime. He has now finished his 6th season and is looking like a proper player, and he is one of Arteta's main targets for the fullback area. Before I get on to his play style, what we can expect for him, and how he would fit in, please can you just like this video, subscribe and turn on those notifications if you're new here. It would really help me out. Let's talk about his play style. He is a bit of a modern fullback. There's a lot of games for Fenerbahce at left back where he's come into midfield, and you can probably see why Arteta wanted him. He wants somebody with the ability to come inside the pitch and then operate with the ball at a high technical standard. And one of Kadioglu's best traits is his skill in tight spaces. The way he can get away from the press, evade the press, drive into midfield is such a high standard. Yesterday I made a video about Jurriën Timber and his skill and how he dribbles into midfield, and it creates so many opportunities. And Kadioglu is the same. He's right-footed, so he can come into the pitch and switch the play really well. His left foot is also pretty decent as well, so he's 2-footed, giving us that extra technical ability. Like Tomiyasu, we've seen him, he's 2-footed. There's just so much you can gain from having a fullback, midfielder or winger with 2 feet. It just opens up the pitch really well. Maybe it's surprising given that he started his career in more attacking positions, but his defensive play is actually very good. Due to his height, he's able to really stand up against an attacker and really show them down lines or areas where the attacker doesn't want to go to. His anticipation is also very good. He knows when to go and press the ball and win the ball back from the opposition to then start attacks. He knows how to slow down the game when needed. A lot of pause are involved, and that's important, especially for an Arteta side, to know the moments, know the game state. When can you play a forward pass? When should you keep possession? Kadioglu has that in abundance, and that's just perfect for fitting into our sort of play style. Aggressive as well, both in attack and defense. That's what you want to see. You want to be somebody that's going to be winning all those duels, and that is what Kadioglu is. Arteta is obsessed with duels, and this guy is top when it comes to that part of the game. Of the fullbacks in the Turkish league, he makes the most progressive runs and he has the highest dribble completion percentage. It's an area of his game honed through playing in more attacking positions that opens up unusual attacking avenues, like I've said before. He is often the player with the most touches of the ball on the team. He completes the most dribbles per 90, passes into the final third and progressive passes. I mentioned how he can play inverted fullback and has been doing that for Fenerbahce, and I think these stats really show how good he is. Expected assists per 90, only bettered by Cancelo and Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that is to be expected. Those guys are creative demons. But look, more than Ben White, more than Walker, more than Zinchenko when he's played in that role. And I think that's really key. We need creativity from those fullback areas because often our attackers and our midfielders are locked off. When we're playing against those low blocks and mid blocks, we need that creativity. And Kadioglu can really show that. And it's really nice to see him here, really competing with other players. You know, expected dribbles per 90 as well. Only bettered by João Cancelo. We know how good João Cancelo is on the ball. But Kadioglu is actually there or thereabouts with him on that sort of metric. So it's really nice to see him competing against these other fullbacks, defensive duels as well. I think that's the most impressive for me per 90. He's got better than Ben White, better than Cancelo, better than Zinchenko, and that is just something you love to see. Also, very nice to see the accurate forward passes. He's really, really intelligent. I think intelligence in football is becoming a big thing. He knows when he can play a pass forward and it won't be intercepted. And I talked about his pauser ability earlier in this video, and it's a really, really high standard. So he's really suited to the Arteta play. And I think these stats, surely, if you're watching this, you're starting to see why Arteta would want him. I touched on his versatility, but here it is on paper. At left back, 65 games, attacking midfield, 56 games, right winger, 44 games, right back, 37 games, left winger, 23 games, left midfield, 19 games, right midfield, 19 games again, centre midfield, 15 games, and he even played one game at striker. Arteta is just quite literally a sucker for these players who can play in multiple positions, and it's really good for us because we can then adapt to the different game states. Maybe we need him to go into midfield and actually play in midfield against teams where we're not having the ball anymore. We can push him further forward at right wing, maybe a potential Saka backup against those teams like Real Madrid in the Champions League. If you want a bit of security ahead of Ben White, you can put this guy in and it will really, really help us. So Ferdi Kadioglu, top player for me. I think we've had this bid go in. Apparently it's around 20 million and it's expected to be rejected, as Fenerbahce would obviously rate him much higher than that. And I think there was this game I just want to talk about. It was for Turkey. You can find it on the internet. And it was against Germany. And the way this guy played was absolutely phenomenal. It was one of the first games I watched of him personally at right back against all of these German top attackers. I think Musiala was playing and he just really had them on lock. You know, I had question marks about his defensive ability because you often see all these players that play inverted fullback. Can they have that tenacious ability to go the other way? We've seen with Zinchenko, who's not the best going backwards. But this guy, Ferdi Kadioglu, is top when it's defensive actions. You know, those stats I showed earlier in the video, those defensive duels won in the air, whether that be on the ground. It's true. When you watch him, you can see he's a duel master. I just often think, are we not spending a bit too much money on these fullbacks? We've already got quite a lot. We've got Tomiyasu, we've got Zinchenko, Jarrell Hato is another one of our targets. Then on right back, you've got Ben White, Jurriën Timber as well, who's going to be like a new signing for us. He can do the inverted role, really good in the duels. So it's about being smart this summer, I think. We'll see a lot of departures. And I think we'll get these top players in, you know, when they're starting to hit their prime. Ferdi is 24. We've also seen us linked with other players that are reaching that prime age. You know, we got Kai Havertz at 24. We've got Declan Rice at 25, 24. So we're now starting to know that youth and ability, it's one thing, but now you need to have players that are, you know, with that leadership gene. And it's funny because Ferdi Kadioglu, as I've said earlier in the video, is vice captain for Fenerbahce. So I just want you guys to notice with these targets, all of them have some sort of leadership under their belt. Jurriën Timber, Ajax. Declan Rice, West Ham. Kai Havertz has been captain for Leverkusen as well. Just this sort of, you know, model of signing these players with that leadership gene, no matter how old they are, it's just starting to come through every single transfer window. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. Hope you've enjoyed. What do you think about Ferdi Kadioglu? Do you think he's the guy we need? Do you think 25, 30 million is the sort of money we should spend on him? I'm not sure. I think we've got a lot of fullbacks, but I would not be against it because he is a top player.